this point in time, Mr. Tony Rivnik, principal of the Memorial School, and our teacher, Ms. Kate Cicalese, are here tonight. Excuse me, Kate Cicalese, pardon me. Oh, thank you. Well, I said it. The second time was perfect. And are here tonight. Tony.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. So we have a couple of students with us tonight. Ms. Cicalese, if you want to join me at the podium here, we'll introduce the students, and I'll turn it over to them. They have a new art lesson they've been working on, and it's incorporating the iPad and digital technology into the art curriculum, which is just something we haven't done before and is new this year. So if I can introduce Hannah Hanlon. Hannah, you want to come on up and join us? Oops, I threw my pen. And then we have Bella Hendrickson. And we also have Harry Peters. You want to come up and join us, Harry? Fantastic. And then we were also going to have Sean Newcomb with us tonight, but Sean has come down with a bad fever. Mom didn't feel like he should come tonight. Hopefully he's watching at home and will be able to join us at home.
He's resting up for his baseball game tomorrow night.
Absolutely. And school in the morning.
Oh yeah, right. School tomorrow morning.
Right, right. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Cicalese, and she's going to talk a little bit about the stop motion animation.
Okay. All right, well, I guess you guys can stay up here for moral support. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. This is my first time teaching a digital art lesson. I was inspired by two things. One, having the availability of the iPads, and the second, the influence of a friend, a fellow art teacher. Her husband is an animation teacher in Philadelphia, and she recently made a bunch of stop-motion animation movies with her 5th graders. I didn't know this was possible, but when I saw the movies that her kids made, I knew there was a great way to integrate the iPad into the classroom. I didn't even have a lesson plan for this lesson. Okay, normally most teachers, you have everything planned out, all the materials, everything. I didn't know. And why? Because I'm not an expert in digital arts. But I did know one thing. Here's a story about my mother and my nephew. My nephew is 5 years old. He sits around on an iPhone with my mother, who's about 67, and shows her how to edit photos. Okay, so everyone in this room understands that students are excellent at technology. We wanted to tap into that. So basically, my directions for this lesson plan was download the app Stop Motion, and then we started with 3 questions. Where does my story take place? Students started by brainstorming on paper. Who are the characters, and what is happening? And those were the 3 prompts that we used to start this lesson. I put out tons of materials for the students to use, and then I just let them go. And basically, as we went, I would observe them learning things, and then I would show them to the class so that other students could learn from each other. So let's begin. We're going to play the first movie. Students were also allowed to choose the themes of the movies. The movies that we're showing tonight are both sports themes, just because sports are very important in their lives. But we did have a few horror films and rock videos, car crashes, volcanoes exploding, all sorts of things, okay? This is The End Zone. This was made by Harry Peters, Sean Newcomb, Johnny Vasquez, and Josh Sanchez. Thank you, sir. Okay. You want to come over here so you can see me?
Ran right around those defenders.
All right, now, since we're so lucky to have one of the artists here, we're going to ask him a few questions, okay?
Harry, you want to step up to the mic?
There's no wrong answer, okay? This was a group project. Can you describe how each student in your group contributed?
So like me, I
was the person who did all the props, and I would like move them, and then Sean was behind the camera, and he would always take the picture. And Johnny and Josh, well, at the end, Josh joined our group, so he didn't really do anything. And Johnny had double chorus most of the days, and the rest of the days he was sick. So it was really just me and Sean.
Okay, so you found out what it's like to, to work as a group.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to pick up the slack if some of your members aren't there. It was really great to watch these guys filming their movies. They had one person who was saying, what was the word you were saying every time you wanted a photo taken?
Take it.
Okay, so he was standing in over at the director. He's got someone with their iPad taking the photos, and someone else moving the...
No, I was moving them
You're
too.
moving it, okay. So he's moving all the pieces, directing everything. So they were working like real movies. Okay, let's see. One more question, I think, for you. What did you find difficult about making a movie?
Probably moving all the props, because you have to move them in like certain spots, and if you move them too far, then it doesn't look like he was like running.
These guys did a really good job of making things really smooth. If I showed some other films, you would see kind of how difficult it was to really make the football look. They did a great job making it fly through the air. And what would you do differently next time, based on maybe seeing some other students' work?
Probably to have some more students watching us do it and giving us like feedback every time we move it.
Okay,
Move the props.
Okay, so some more student feedback along the way. He's right. Actually, I think the students learn the most at the very final day when we like screening day and we show all the movies, and that's when we really learn the different things. Because thank you, Harry. You're done. If you want to take a seat, or if you want to stand up here. All right. This is the next movie. This is another sports video made by these two young ladies. Also, they have three other members in their group that aren't here tonight. We have Kayla, Shanette, Molly Egan, and Paige Murphy, right? Okay. All right, so. Okay.
Rob, you want to step up to the mic? No?
Now, one of my favorite things about this movie, and I'm sure you'll agree, you look at these young ladies, they are so sweet and quiet, such perfect manners, and then their movie shows, and who's singing but Ozzy Osbourne? So one of my favorite parts was the music. It really made it exciting. Why did you choose that particular song?
Because it would like get them going to like play the game.
Okay, so you know when team members go out to play a game, they always pump out music. Very good. So you use that in real life. And how did you add music to your movie? And it's interesting because these young ladies figured it out on their own.
We took one iPad and found the song on YouTube, and we recorded on another iPad and put it with the video.
Wow. So after they made their movie, they had it playing and recording while another iPad was playing the song. And that's how they were able to integrate it, figure it out. And finally, ladies, you both make great artwork with pencils and watercolor. But how did you feel about using the iPad to make art?
It was different and yeah.
You liked it better? Okay. So it was a lot of fun for all the students, especially a lot of students too that don't feel that they're great at drawing. This is a nice project for them because it integrates other aspects of art. But thank you so much for being brave and coming up here.
I like the volcano one because there was one that was a volcano stop motion animation, and oh, you have that one actually? Only because the volcanoes they'd actually created for a science class.
Project, right.
So there was a project they used there, and they kind of repurposed it for the art, the sacrifice.
Yeah, we can close with this one.
Dun dun dun.
The sacrifice. Oh, look at that.
The weather's changing.
Lightning in the background.
Oh, so that's a tourist, and those are the natives, and they're sacrificing a tourist.
Kind of like how we feel in summertime.
Good interpretation.
Right into the volcano, that's hysterical.
This is very fun.
So I think they had to probably shoot close to 200 photos.
I was just gonna ask, about how many does it take?
I mean, that one there must be.
That was about 200 photos. I mean, I did not make a demand on students. Some shot 20 photos, and those films are about 5 seconds long. So it really depended on the student, how long they wanted to make it.
So how long does it take to film one of these movies? This is
Do
a
the three
lot.
students want to come back up?
You should come in and ask them. Why not they tell them? We're not done with you. Don't.
And plus, Miss Allahead wants to take your picture with your teacher and your principal, too.
Done with Mike.
All three of you.
Let's get on Harry.
Well, I mean, it took a lot of production time because we had to make the sets, the characters, but the actual shooting, that only really took about, what, one class? Two
Yeah, like
classes?
1.5 classes.
Was that frustrating to do that? Because all I can think is that if you place it wrong, you have to redo it.
Yeah, especially with 2 people. It's hard
Right,
that
yeah.
way.
It's a lot to carry. Wow. Okay. Who else has some questions they'd like to ask? Because this is fascinating.
Was this only 6th grade curriculum, or is it?
I mean, it could be any grade. I mean, it would just be access to the higher level if it was 8th grade.
No, it's definitely showed higher level of thinking in those videos.
Yeah, no, the students did amazing with it. And this is like our second group project. I try to integrate a few group projects into the curriculum, just because I think it's really good for them to have the experience of how to learn to work. I mean, they work together as teams all the time on their sports teams. But, you know, how academically do we do this? And I told them, you know, someone's going to be the natural leader. And you're going to have to assign roles to different people in your group. One thing that's really nice about the young ladies group is this group works amazing together. I mean, they're just like, the 5 of them, they're the hardest workers, and just like no arguing. I mean,
Did they get to pick their own peers, or were they?
yeah, they did pretty much get to pick their own groups. I mean, not every group worked out. There was a lot of movies that kind of fell apart due to group dynamics. That's why we had a member that had dropped out of one movie production team and doing Mary's. And he was nice enough to say, come on, join ours.
So how did you choose the leader of your groups?
I don't know. They just like
Who was your leader, Harry?
me.
And then I'll ask the girls, and how did
Well,
you?
like at the end, we'd have to do like the manager and the props and stuff, and I did like most of the stuff, so they just picked me for it.
And that's, so they chose you or you chose you?
They
you?
chose me.
That's good. And girls? How did you choose the leader of the group?
We chose as a group. We all voted, and it chose to be me.
Did you like being the leader? Was it hard to be the leader? Did you have to keep them in control? And make sure everyone measured up? Hmm.
It's not easy being the boss, huh?
Eric, anything?
No, I would just say fantastic job. I would just note I was actually at the Museum of Science this past weekend, and coming up in June they have an exhibit about the science behind Pixar. And so they had one a couple years ago that was sort of a mini, and they're making it a full-blown exhibit now, talking about computer animation and how they do it. And I'm looking forward to it. And if you're into this, then you probably would enjoy it as well.
No, thank you. That is one interesting thing about this project. I've had some students, they didn't understand that this was art. So to make them understand that the people behind the animation are artists. Like they had to start with learning how to draw. So I think it was, and also, I mean, they love movies, animation. So another great project that integrates student interest.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Will you take their picture, Maggie? Thank you. Tony, will you get in the picture too, please? Congratulations. This is great.
Oh, the light.
You're in the light,
Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
Tony, you're in the...
Your left
Got
arm's
the
up.
protection on you.
Everybody smile. So stop motion animation.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
That's wonderful. It's really cool. And Tony, while you're here, do you want to just stay up here? Mr. Rivnick has a request on an out-of-state field trip tonight for the 8th grade.
Thank
If
you.
I keep talking, I'll make your request.
That'd be fine. So this year we were looking at taking our 8th grade to Canopy Lake Park. The reason for the request is that Canopy Lake Park is in New Hampshire, and all out-of-state field trips have to be approved by the school committee. So we're looking at taking it on the 19th. The field trip has really been paid for because students pay for it through class dues. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Great job. Bye-bye. So they've already paid for it. If for some reason the school committee didn't approve it, we do have backup plans. In prior years, we've done the field day where we hired the inflatables to come, when we had the outside activities with the inflatables.